Oh, that's a great auspicious start. Hi everyone, welcome to Social. My name is Christine Gritmon. Most of you know that because most of you know me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And what this is going to be is Social is going to be ideally weekly, a weekly Facebook Live show. It's going to be about half an hour long, not super long, where I talk about some of the developments in social media over the week, because there's stuff happening every single week, with a special guest, since I know a whole lot of smart people who can talk to this stuff. And today my special guest is Lisa Larson-Kelley.
Hello.
And she's my guest this week, partially because she's awesome and knowledgeable, but also because she just came back from Facebook's F8 Developer Conference?
Yes.
Summit? What do you call it?
Yeah.
Conference. I wasn't sure, but
Yeah.
F8, it's kind of a thing. And they announced some big news there, so we're going to talk about that. So actually, I'm gonna let Lisa take it away, basically. So the biggest news that everyone's been hearing about from F8 is Facebook Spaces.
Yes. That was
So
exciting.
can you tell the folks at home what Facebook Spaces is?
Facebook Spaces is Facebook's sort of first little foray into taking social into the VR world, virtual reality. So instead of just interacting on your timeline, sharing these flat pieces of things to everybody's timeline, you can actually interact in person as if we were sitting here together from around the world. We can gather around this table. There's this table in front of you, and you can share content that way and actually experience it together, watch things together. And everybody's doing 360 video, and you can take your own 360 video and like drop it into the middle. Or actually, they have this strange way where you actually take, it's the sphere, and you can choose from all of your 360 videos, and then you actually do this. They're gonna have to, I don't know if they're gonna stick with this as the
What
UI.
kind of equipment is going to be
You put it
needed for this?
into your face in here, and then the whole world changes for everyone. And you go into that 360 video, and you look around, and you're in it. It's really cool.
So what do you mean by you take a sphere and put it in your face?
With the glass, you've got VR glasses on, and you have these two controllers.
Did they mention price points for the VR?
I asked about that, and you can get the headset and the touch. I think it's Oculus Touch, I believe is what you use. It's only like $600 only, but you need like a $1,000 or $1,500 PC to run it.
Oh,
you can't just plug it into your. I know that was the part that was like, oh, so close.
Yeah. So who are they marketing it to right now then?
It's really early adopters.
Yeah.
People who are really curious about it, who maybe already have the equipment. A lot of people do own it already.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a while, but I think they like it this way, that they can really roll it out and test it.
Yeah.
And make sure, because there are some certain things that I tried to call you.
Yes,
That's
I saw
one thing
that.
you can do.
Sorry.
You can go into Messenger and do a Messenger video call with someone.
Oh wow.
And instead of seeing you, they see your avatar.
Oh
So
wow.
it's pretty wild.
I'm just wondering why I'd want to see someone's avatar.
I
instead of
know,
them.
I know.
How do you make your avatar?
Well, because you can show them the world that you're in.
Oh, so I would have
Too.
gotten to see.
So they could join the party. It was me and Martina.
So you would have been. So I would have seen, had I picked up. And sorry, I was with my kids.
I figured.
I would have seen the actual room you were in.
Yep.
Behind you. But I would have seen your avatar instead of
person.
you. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you get to design your avatar? Did it start from you?
Yes. Yeah, you totally get to design it however you want. They, Facebook says, be yourself in VR. Not just, you could be whoever you want to be, but they try to start with yourself, because your identity is who you are on Facebook. And
do they give
so
you
they
defaults?
have this kiosk, and what you do is you go up, and they give you this code, so you hook it into your Facebook account, and then it pulls like 6 photos that you're tagged in to start with, and you pick one that you think shows your face and good light and everything, and you drag that in the middle, because you have these touch things, and you're actually dragging it in, and then it builds an avatar that was like gives you choices of 5 that are close, and you pick one of those, and then you can further customize it.
Oh, that's kind of
But
cool.
I went to a demo where they were working with that. They just had it automatically create one. And that was a little, people were insulted a lot of the time by what came up. So to give you like a choice, you know.
Yeah, it's your body type, it gets a little dicey.
Right. I mean, it's mostly from here, you know, just your face. But like the product manager, one of the guys who was in charge of everything, he was giving the talk. And he showed his first avatar that came up, and he was completely bald, and he's not. So he's like, yeah, let's refine that a little bit.
I have a friend of mine whose office regularly does these meetings where it's sort of a virtual conference room, but you have to be in an actual conference room that has this functionality. And there's screens around the room. It's like United Nations-y. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I would imagine this would have business implications like that at first. You know, businesses, she's in finance, and so she's talking with people all over the world in pretty much all her meetings. So I would imagine this, I mean, although it feels a little silly to picture all these people in a meeting with like cartoons.
Yeah, it's a little, that crossover's tough. But in creative fields, you know, you could do that, and you can actually, there's this 3D pen. You can write, you can draw things. Like even if you were to like sketch out an interface or something, you're sketching out a photo here. And
that's going to take a little while to get the hang of.
Yeah, but you can like grab things and move them around and like leave them in space here, and someone else could grab it and move it, like, I think that would look better over here.
That's interesting. For decorating.
Yeah, right.
I'm picturing, you know, a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds, you know, doing this with their future college roommate, you know, let's decorate our room. If they happen to have, you know, thousands of dollars.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I know that the drawing thing will take a little while to get the hang of because my husband's office has a VR setup. They have the Oculus stuff. Yeah. And there was something where we could draw in space and then walk through the drawing.
I think Google came out with that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering what the idea. Did Facebook present an application for that, or were they just like, hey, look at this cool thing you can do now? Yeah,
they're just saying it's a cool thing that they're exploring and that they're working on, and it's gonna. This is like their big thing they kept saying a lot was, we're 1% there on this. We're 1% towards.
So
this.
then it's very interesting that this was the big news out of it. It was there. It was. Oh, whoops. My phone is low on battery. I'm just gonna charge that back up. I have a case that charges, so hopefully that'll work and it won't like go dead on us. We'll see. We'll see. So that was the big news out of the conference, but it's not ready yet, and the applications are questionable. So what news that people can use right now came out of the conference?
Well, they were very excited about the camera effects.
The camera. Tell us about the camera. I wish the camera was here. That's such a bummer.
I know.
So
I mean, everybody that went to the conference got a 360 camera. So it just goes right on your phone. However, a lot more people had iPhones than they thought, so I didn't physically get mine, and they ran out. Yeah. So I'll be getting one, but they're really pushing to do more 360. But the camera effects is sort of the Snapchat Me Too part. Yes. Yes. And
so what are they doing that's new with that?
They are opening up the ecosystem to developers and artists. Oh. So you can create your own frames, and make them available.
And that certainly opens up marketing opportunities.
Right. Yes, and they have a tool, a frame studio, that you can use. You upload PNGs right in there, and then you connect them with Facebook, and then they go through a short approval process, and then it's available to everyone who follows your page, I believe.
I was about to ask kind of what the rules were in terms of who can develop and the reach and all of that. Is there going to be a cost associated with it?
Probably eventually. It's Facebook, but not right now. It's all
literally
free to go in there and play and make your own frames.
Literally, Coca-Cola could go draw a frame.
I did see something about like if it was a commercial brand application, that they were restricting that in some way now.
And I'm kind of wondering where the line would be there, because technically, I mean, I'm Christine Gritmon Inc., but I'm not Coke.
Right.
So.
Sure. That I'm not sure of. I have to look into that and see where they're going to draw that line.
But that's interesting that they're doubling down on that. I got into a conversation yesterday where someone, I was mentioning this, and I was mentioning the whole Facebook Spaces thing and how Snapchat, the very same day as Facebook Spaces was announced, which again is 1% there, Snapchat rolled out, I don't even think they told people about it in advance, really.
I don't think so.
They just kind of surprised everyone.
They may have known or had some hint that Facebook was working on this
Clearly.
in some way.
I think they must have.
They were trying to do it first.
Yeah, because then they rolled out Snapchat World Lenses. So anyone who's used Snapchat, or even people who haven't used Snapchat, one of the things that people tend to know about Snapchat is that you can do these little filters on your face. Everyone's seen pictures of people with the dog face, with the tongue out, or with that beautiful crown of flowers. I love that one. And so that's putting a filter on you, and it does move with you, and it's very conscious of you. So they've already had that. My husband and I were talking about this. Does that count as augmented reality? Because they are mapping where you are.
Yeah, it's face mapping, and it's augmented reality. And the shift now is in, it's not just mapping to your face and to you, it's mapping to the world.
To the world.
So they can detect that this is a wall, right? And that's the floor.
I was playing with it, and I put a rainbow in the middle of my dining room table, and I think I put a whatever on my son's forehead.
And you move around the space, and it stays where it was.
Yes.
It stays where you put it, and so you can kind of, change the shot.
So maybe it's the rain. It's raining here in Nyack, but I'm in a very what's the point of this mood.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering what the point of that will be. I mean, I imagine much like product placement in movies, there will be, you can place, again, to use Coke, even though Coke I don't think is actually going to use this, but you can put, Warby Parker is a better example because they actually are very active on Snap. I mean, Coke's probably active too, but I can picture, you have your Warby Parker glasses that you can put on the table, but I'm just wondering...
Well,
how much of that
Facebook
will really
decided that they're doing the same thing as well. It's AR Studio, Augmented Reality Studio. So they're actually putting a tool in developers' hands to build these things instead of just like Snapchat is. They've always been very closed in their ecosystem. So Facebook is trying to approach it in that way, that they're putting these tools in your hands to play with. And they did show some examples because they can tie it to places and all of their graph, their whole graph, businesses and everything else. So someone walking by our office could open up Messenger or the Facebook camera and point it at our windows, and we might have a big mural painted on those windows. And everyone who walks by and has the camera and points it at our place of business.
So cool. I am surprised. That Snapchat, I understand Snapchat timed their rollout almost certainly to coincide with the Facebook announcement, but I'm a little surprised that Snapchat didn't roll it out for Coachella.
Right.
Because I could picture one potential commercial, because Coachella's been a great opportunity for branded Snapchat stuff anyway, with branded filters. I believe that Flower Crown started as a Coachella filter, but now it's year-round because everybody loves it. I saw girls dressed as that for Halloween.
Really?
Yes. It's adorable.
It's great.
Everyone looks good in that filter. But I could picture at Coachella, because of course they had, this brand has this house at Coachella, or this brand has this tent at Coachella, and also South by Southwest and things like that. I think
we'll see a lot of development of this in the next year.
I could picture very geo-targeted. If you're in this specific area, you can explore the Gatorade room. Just because Gatorade's another one
why not?
that has used Snapchat effectively. They had that filter where you could dump the thing of Gatorade on yourself. And so I'd imagine the world filter, I mean, maybe they'll do this for next year's Super Bowl or something. Or this year's World Series. Maybe they'll have people who are in the vicinity can get into a branded room with this world lens, and you could... I'm wondering if the next phase is going to be sort of like Pokemon Go, where the world lens is, instead of just you placing things, you search for things.
Absolutely.
Because Pokemon Go, I feel like, was the first mainstream, really widely adopted augmented reality. The technology's been there for such a long time. Years ago, nobody seems to remember this, which shows that it was ahead of its time, because nobody seemed to engage with this. IKEA. A few years ago, IKEA said, download this specific app, and when you get our paper catalog in the mail, and you look at a page with this app, the furniture will come to life.
Right.
And and that was fascinating to me. And now, of course, it's so mainstream that there are coloring books.
Right.
My children have augmented reality coloring books where they can color in Elsa, and okay, now she's got like a purple dress and pink hair because Ellie.
Because why not?
But then they'll look at it through an app on our phones, and it'll stand up and come to life.
Wow.
But the fact is, they've had the technology to do that clearly for years, because again, IKEA did it, and it sucks that people weren't aware enough of it at the time.
Yeah.
But between Pokemon Go and the coloring books and just all these things, it's getting so mainstream so fast. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
In fact, given that, I'm a little surprised that Facebook is only 1% there.
I think they're also managing expectations quite a bit.
That's
too. Because you know, everyone's going to say, oh, they're just copying this, or oh, this really isn't there yet. You know, but they're saying, oh, well, don't worry, we have a lot.
Did they give any sort of estimated release date on Facebook Spaces?
Yeah, it's available now. Anybody can use it.
Wait, what?
Anyone with
anyone with squillions of dollars?
With millions, yeah, with some money, enough money to have a good PC. And
did they mention any early adopter companies they've been working with or anything? Because I could picture part of that launch being like, hey, we gave a sneak preview of this to Nike. Here's an example of how Nike's been using it in their corporate offices and among.
Yeah,
some.
I don't know if they really know exactly how it's going to be used, and I don't think they want to set that expectation either. They want to see what people do with some of these things, and then they're going to listen and pay attention and follow where people take it.
Interesting.
I think. Yeah.
Any other news people can use right now from the F8 conference? I'm sure they covered a whole lot of stuff. I was following you very closely, and I saw that they were really driving home the spaces.
Yeah. Well, I was excited about that one too, because I worked with the team on it a little bit. You know,
I love
ahead
that.
of it, so it was exciting to actually see it out the world. You know.
Yeah, but is there any other stuff people can use right now? I mean, I know they're tweaking things literally at least every week, if not every day. I'll talk about something that they did the other day in a minute, but
let's see. Mostly it was the camera stuff, which some of those things are available now that you can start playing with. The tools are in beta.
The camera. I wanted to know more about the camera.
The actual like physical camera.
Yes. Does it connect to your phone? Is it a totally separate device? Like what is this 360 camera?
Yeah, it's this big, and it has this little black ball on there, and you just pop it on top of your phone, and hold your phone up and click, and you've captured everything all around.
So they pop it on top of your phone. I know that the new iPhones don't even have like a headphone jack. So like, what does it connect to?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Does it clip over the lens?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because I didn't actually get it in my hand.
We will find out soon.
But I know that they gave us the name of it. I took a picture actually of what it was.
I saw it, yeah.
And then I can.
I thought it was smaller. But that's, that would be great.
Yeah, it's like that big.
So check the comments later, you guys, because this will be rebroadcast, posted. So yes, as I was saying, they're making little tweaks all the time. Any little tweaks that they talked about that are coming in? I'm especially interested in their tools for managing business pages are really subpar, given how heavily used and needed they are. Did they talk about any developments to that or anything?
Well, they had a whole booth for Pages API, so that is an open ecosystem that developers can build tools for.
Yes, and I noticed they've been pushing apps lately for that.
Yeah. So they have those things available, and they're doing a lot of integrations. One that I talked to them about was with Shopify, where you can add a tab to your page, and all of your Shopify, basically your Shopify shop, even if you have it on your website, can come right into Facebook, and people can buy right from your page.
And I saw at Social Media Marketing World that they've rolled it out to, I think, just one clothing brand or something, but they had something where you can buy a specific item from a Facebook Live video.
Oh.
Which was fascinating.
That's
yes,
cool.
I need to find out a little bit more about that, but it was really interesting. It showed these women were doing almost like an infomercial about this pair of pants. And I mean, right now, if you want to buy the pair of pants that's in the video, that company would have needed someone on their team to go put a little comment in the live video. But this was, you could literally just click. It was like a YouTube video in that, like, you know, you just click something and it'll just go, and it opened a new window, so you didn't stop watching the live video. But it was very clearly, you know, beta, something they're developing. But I'm very curious about what's going to be happening with that, and the fact that you can set up shops on Facebook now is fantastic.
Moving in that area, and you know, you get to hold on to that data. You know who bought it. You can market to them later. You can do lookalike audiences based on those people, you know. So, because I specifically asked about that, I was like, okay, we could still, even though you're not taking away the power of knowing who your customers are.
Yes.
So no,
that's huge.
Yeah.
Did they talk about Instagram?
They didn't really. And Instagram had this tiny little booth, and they were there, but they didn't really talk about Instagram very much because this was very developer centric. And
you can't
Instagram
really develop
is closed.
anything. Instagram is so closed, which is why, bane of my existence, the fact that you can't properly schedule an Instagram to auto post. Can I do what with the charity data?
The charity data?
Oh, you mean use your customer data? I don't know. I'd have to find that out. I haven't worked enough with donations on nonprofit pages yet, Diana. I should look at the comments in a minute.
Yeah.
But one thing that ordinarily I'd be like, well, of course they didn't focus much on Instagram because they're sister brands, but not, you know. Retain the donor information. I see. Yeah, I think it depends on what system you're using.
Because it integrates with something else, right?
Yeah. It integrates with something else, right, Diana? I think so.
So all that data should stay within.
I mean, you should be able to have it. But yeah, normally it'd be like, well, they're staying pretty separate. But this annoying thing happened to me the other night. Of course, I manage several Facebook pages. I'm an admin for a whole bunch of clients. And on just one of them, because Facebook rolls out things to some people and not others. On just one of them the other night, I got a notification, as I normally do when someone does something on one of the pages I manage, and it was telling me about an Instagram comment. And it showed a split screen where the right side of my screen was kind of the list of notifications, and they had different icons indicating if it was a Facebook notification or an Instagram notification. This was all on my Facebook. It was on desktop. It was on desktop, not mobile. But then the left side of the screen showed the Instagram comments, and it gave me the option, and it explained itself. It said, we want you to be able to interact with your audience in one place so you can respond to Instagram comments right here on Facebook. Which on the one hand, I thought, well, if you're someone like me who's... Because that night I was literally flipping back and forth between Facebook and Instagram a lot. As I do, because part of what I do for pages I manage is I try to be really on top of interacting with the comments and with the audience. So I had been flipping back and forth, and for a second I was like, well, this might be a little easier. And then I realized, oh, but if it's desktop only, that's not so useful. That's
not right. You're going to have to switch anyway. What's the point?
Yeah, I thought it was very strange, and it has since disappeared. I wonder if they accidentally rolled it out. But yeah, of like the however many pages I managed, that was the only one that got it, and I only got it briefly. So they might have let that slip accidentally. But that's an interesting concept, being able to manage your Instagram and Facebook interactions in one place, on one screen. Of the tweaks they could make to management of business pages, I certainly don't think that's the most useful.
Right. What would be the most useful?
The most useful would be having audience targeting options and analytics and stuff, the insights information that you can get on desktop in the app. They have the separate Pages app on mobile, and they have the separate Ad Manager app on mobile, and they're not
have the same data.
The Pages app doesn't do much more than the Facebook app does for Pages, and the Ads Manager app doesn't do much more for Ad Manager than you have on the regular Facebook app. And if you've compared using Ads Manager and using the Insights tab on your page and all of that on desktop to doing it on mobile, you know that there's like nothing on mobile. I can't even tell when my followers tend to be online on mobile. That insight is just not there, and it should at least be in the Pages app, and it's not. All I get is you had this much engagement, this many likes, yada yada, here's how your promotions are doing. But especially ads, it drives me up a wall, because ads, you have the most generic options on the Ads Manager app.
And you want to keep an eye on
I don't want generic options. I want to be able to target. I want to know, I want to be able, you can't even say, show this ad to people who like this other page. You can't even say, you know, use my audience from my mailing list. I'm pretty sure you can't on mobile. And that drives me up a wall. Why is there a separate app? So I would say putting full functionality on mobile should be a higher priority for them on business, rather than merging it with Instagram. And I'm kind of bummed that they didn't talk about Instagram at all, because the businesses profiles on Instagram, that's only about a year old, right? That's pretty new. So there's so much that can be done with that.
Yeah, they focused mostly on the developer tools and new technologies, and surprisingly media. There was a whole media track, and there were
like the instant articles and things like that.
And so they had, like, all the big media companies had people there.
Oh wow!
That they were invited to come.
What type of media companies?
Like Viacom and NBC, and like all the big, you know, media outlets, news mostly. So they had a whole track just for them.
That's fascinating. I actually, for those who don't know my background, I do come from a marketing background originally to some degree, but when I really got into social media as a marketing tool was actually when I was working as a journalist. Shout out to Anjanette, the Journal News. I think now she's the Poughkeepsie Journal. Really teaching us how to use it as a business tool and how to really drum up engagement and viewership, and, you know, learning how to read metrics, all that stuff. Because it's such an important part of journalism now, for better or for worse. I mean, we all know about clickbait and fake news and whatever. But I mean, these are businesses. They have business needs. They kind of have to play. They kind of have to play ball. But that's very interesting that they're courting that market. I mean, I think it's good that they're courting that market, and I think
they're trying to keep a dialogue open, is what the sense that I got.
It's very tricky because that level of engagement's not the right word, but that level of kind of dependence on clicks and things like that has done bad things for the journalism industry.
They have a love-hate relationship.
But also good things, because obviously, you know, that's how you get business. So it's tricky. The journalists that I know still maintain journalistic integrity. That is paramount. I know that at the Journal News we absolutely learned that. We're like, you know what, yes, you have to package things in a way that will help it be more marketable, but the content needs to be real and valid and properly done by the old school rules of journalism, and that's important. Did you happen to catch any of what they were talking about with journalists? I know instant articles where you can sign up and have your articles load faster is a thing, but
that hasn't really been very popular.
Yeah, I think it's weird.
Because it's taking traffic away from, as I understand it, taking traffic away from the actual newspaper websites.
It kind of brings you to the whole net neutrality debate when you come down to it. You know, having faster processing speeds for certain places rather than others. Did you catch anything else that they were trying to push?
Well, I mean, of course they had to address the Facebook, you know, murder that happened on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
That was, so they did address that.
In what way?
Well, Mark mentioned it in the keynote, and had like a moment about that, and just how, you know, regretful it is and how hard it is to manage, but then they acknowledge they do better, because I think it was up for 25 minutes or something before they took it down. And then I did sit in on one media session where they talked about it, and I think it was maybe Josh, somebody from TechCrunch, because they had a Q&A, and he just hammered him about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like this, you know, you haven't said
not
enough.
Very nice.
Yeah, I know. You know, they need to.
I mean, especially, I feel like I'm sure it didn't start there, but it certainly reached a fever pitch around election time and has stayed up there. The idea of how much can Facebook be expected to do, a site that has billions of users at any given time, really. Right now there's billions of people on Facebook. how aware can they be?
Right. And he, you know, they just said that, you know, they really have to.
But is it their responsibility?
They're going to rely. Right. It is. I mean, they have the platform out there, so
yeah.
some level it is. And if they can use technology like artificial intelligence and things like that to at least flag some of it, it's sort of this beast that you can't control.
Yeah, because it brings up the question of where the line is. The fake news thing does also. You know, if someone's super fringe, conservative, or liberal, at what point do you call these fringe stories fake news or real news? Because a lot of times people could say, no, I'm just telling the truth that the media won't report. And, you know, maybe they're right. But that also goes to the content issue, because obviously someone getting murdered, everyone can agree what side of the line that is on. That is inappropriate.
Right.
But, you know, what is appropriate? I see people, we all have that friend who posts the tortured animals to raise awareness. You know, does that get posted?
Right.
it's very, I mean, how do you judge intent? How are they supposed to police intent?
Right.
If you see a tortured dog video and it's being posted by an animal rescue, how is that different from a tortured dog video being posted by the jerk teenagers who are torturing the dog?
Right, exactly.
And so on the one hand, it feels strange to put Facebook in that position of having to be an arbiter of appropriate content, but on the other hand, if not then, who? I mean, we don't want to become 4chan.
Right, exactly. And they don't want to become 4chan.
Even Reddit, yeah, that's what I mean. Even Reddit doesn't want to become 4chan.
Right.
They've been closing stuff down. So it sort of speaks to how much responsibility can they be expected to have, and who draws the lines, and do they get law enforcement involved? And
right, at what point? They do have rules about certain things where they would.
Yes.
And I've noticed that they have been putting up sort of these little roadblocks, and so it'll be a black screen saying this content might be offensive to some people,
and you have to click on it.
Yeah.
I also discovered recently, and this was very interesting, because someone gets murdered and stays up for a few hours, but I was trying to set up an ad for a client recently, and it mentioned weight loss, and I was not allowed to run the ad. I needed to change the language.
Yep.
Because you can't advertise anything implying that people need to change. Or something like that. Like it's a whole body sensitivity thing. But I was fascinated. I'm like, so that I can't mention weight loss, but I can, you know, you can do all these other things.
When it comes to advertising, that is something
they're
they can
on
control, and they will.
It's fascinating. It's a whole crazy world.
It is. I know, and it's about to get virtual as well.
It's about to get virtual. It's
yeah. One of the things. The second day was pretty mind-blowing. I don't think they really covered that as much, but I think they post all the keynotes, and it's really worth watching.
Okay.
It's the future, like what they're doing in the future. Like they actually have experiments that they're working on. I think it's in Building 8, is what they call it, but where you can type with your mind. Yeah, you just think about what letter you want to type, and it will type it. And you can hear with your skin. It's another experiment they're doing. They have little electrodes, and they teach you a language, kind of like learning Braille, right? That you can hear with your skin.
That is fascinating from a perspective of people with disabilities.
Yes.
But it's creepy as hell for people without disabilities.
Yes.
Wow.
I know. So they've got some wild stuff that
is fascinating.
That would be interesting to watch.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we'll all have to wait and see. And when it all comes out, you know, if I'm still doing this Facebook Live series, we'll see it.
That's right.
This Facebook Live series that will likely also be packaged as a podcast. We'll see how that goes. In closing, I would love to look at your shirt.
Oh, yes. Let's see if anybody's got things. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, so it's lovely.
Yeah.
FA Facebook Developer Conference. Lovely.
Gotta get the swag. You know?
Yes. Before we close, I want to look back and see the comments we've gotten.
Oh yes. If we got any.
And yes, I'm doing this on my phone because I couldn't get the other thing going. This is the first one, so it's scrappy. Hi, Simone. La la la. I already. Hey, Barbara. Can you do, I already talked to Diana about the retaining donor information. I'm going to dig into that for you, Diana, because I actually am about to be doing some more work with nonprofits. Furthermore, I just got notification yesterday that I'm going to be speaking at a conference for nonprofits.
Awesome.
In September, which I'll be talking more about in the future. So I'll find out that for you, Diana. I'll find that out for you, I should say. Hi, Tom, and Men's Group and Zoom. Hi, Laura. Mwah. All right, great. So this was a great first episode. There's going to be more, so stay tuned. Make sure you like Christine Gritmon Inc. on Facebook if you haven't already. And if you have already, thank you. And thank you to Lisa.
Yeah, now I'll post about, the links to some of the videos, and then also about that camera too.
Yes, and Lisa is from Kelly Green Consulting and Learn with Lisa, and is that BrainSnacks?
BrainSnacks channel on YouTube. Yeah, I've got little 1-minute tutorials. On
Learn stuff from Lisa, or rather, learn from Lisa.com. All right, thanks guys. Mwah.
Bye.